Welcome to the Parody, where we tell the victims and all our favorite media. I'm not James A. Janice, and as you can see behind me, it is actually snowing, which makes it perfect for today's episode, Red Christmas, released in 2019.
All I'm telling you right now is that this is not your normal Christmas movie. It's basically a bizarre WTF fest. It is also actually a voice-acted movie. It is filled with bizarre and strange characters. Santa doesn't even control the elves. It's just a bigger elf. Santa literally dies within the first 5 minutes. The main character's kid literally gets knocked out like 10 minutes in and just stays there. One of the characters is called the sex offender for some reason. And if I say that character's name, I'm gonna get canceled. Even though it's only an hour long, the weirdness, bizarreness, and WTFness really carries through. How many people can survive this Christmas regardless of the ground being all red? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with showing us what it's like on Christmas Eve. In 15 seconds, we see the main character's house in a title card. After his gaming session, he goes over to the living room in a weird way. When he gets there, he gets his son off the toy vehicle he's on and sets him down for a story. And he specifically bases it on Christmas since his son loves the holiday.
'Twas the night before Christmas, went all through the house. Not a nigga was stirring, not even Jay Brown. The Air Forces were hung on the power lines with care in hopes that would make the crabs not go there. The little niggas were all snug in their beds with visions of crabs, and all of them were dead.
And his son, with the regular fuzzy mic that little kids have, loves the story. Or, you know, he could just be like every other little kid now. When asked about where she got the kid's new race car from, she says that she took his card and just used it to buy the vehicle. And why are you dancing back there? After putting their own kid to bed, they then consider about going to bed too, because he loves opening presents in the morning after all. But suddenly his kid's up. What's the problem with him? He just wanted to play with his favorite toys. But then he hears the scariest thing to hear on Christmas Day.
Ho, ho, ho.
He then unleashes an unholy amount of bullets into Santa, and by my count, it was 18. Through those 18 bullets, he manages to kill Santa Claus inside of his own home. This ain't the season to be jolly. He calls one of his friends because, like, obviously, he just killed Santa Claus. His son then comes in and wakes up one more time to ask him the once favorite question, "What's a hand job?" He then comes in with the disclaimer that he may have accidentally killed a bald guy. But his son comes back in once again to ask him, "What is a boner?" And something's telling me he's not talking about the former mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, Bill Boner. But like, after putting him back to sleep again, his son comes back for a third time. So in response to this, he literally just breaks out a gun. We get our first look at his friend, who's probably wearing them Rokon headphones. And listen, y'all, I wish I could play the rest of this bizarre interaction. I'll just play some of my favorites here.
Back in new blocks bin.
It already has a B in it. Why did you do that, son? What is wrong with you?
Calm down.
You didn't even have to add another B.
Wait. Did you check his pockets?
Hold on, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna put the phone down.
Aye.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Turns out, Santa was a baller. Meanwhile, while they make their plot for an escape out of the country, his child and his presumably wife? Girlfriend? I don't know. Just come out and just listen to him. Bro, this vent's probably gonna make some noise. I'm sorry for that. The next few minutes of the movie is just all the things I explained in the intro. Big Oscar then explains that he and his friend Lil Lobster are gonna escape to Miami. There's Lil Oscar. Here's the part that I do not want to describe, like, at all. Now we're past that part, and they need to hide the body. Lil Lobster then makes his SoundCloud rap songs lyrics.
Oh Oh shit.
When he gets there, he's meted by his girlfriend? Wife? But when he actually gets there, Big Oscar doesn't even notice that Little Lobster's even there. Now, the deal with the dead Santa Claus in the floor. First of all, bring out a body bag.
Alright, just hurry up and bring it to the house.
Aye.
Hey, yo, don't mind me asking, but why the fuck did you crash into my decorations? I paid $500 for that at Party City, bro. You know how much that costed me?
I'm saving the fucking environment. You are ruining it.
How does that have anything to do with my decorations?
Quick, make it look like you're doing nothing at all and you're just, well, I can't really think of anything to say, to be honest. Yeah, like with probably about a minute ago in this episode, the next few minutes of the film are just many random things. Honestly, the film doesn't really pick up again until we get to the elf stuff. Because now all of a sudden, Little Oscar's knocked down the hallway and they have some random drinks. Probably just water. Let's begin a driving scene with Little Lobster and Big Oscar. Now we're at the side of the grave, right beside this random forest. You know, I'm shocked no one saw them digging a random hole right beside this Christmas tree pavilion. But apparently during that entire time, they somehow managed to get Santa into a grave. Little Lobster then leaves and then we meet the character who's in the credits known as the sex offender. Yup, I even listed it in the intro.
I'm legally obligated to tell you that I'm a sex offender.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, now she's apparently decided to shave her head and buy a new wig. Yeah, this movie is a buck nonsense. Little Oscar even gets back up after being knocked out. And after kind of like this point in the movie, they kind of disappear. On the morning of Christmas, we finally get introduced to this film's elves, starting with Rudolph. Going by the order of names in the credits, Chippy the elf orders a new team of elves to try to find Santa. When they get the elf team one leader set in, they decide to get the shadow elf and 3 more elves that this elf one team leader chooses by just jumping on top of, starting with the black one, another one, and this big dude elf. Their quest was pretty easy as they end up at Big Oscar's home. All they have right now is that the owner was here earlier and that Santa is officially deceased. He croaked. He lost his chance at a victory royale. He can't play the Winterfest. It's all over. Although she said Big Oscar was inside, he's actually driving a car with the Little Lobster to this random shed? Nope, it's just the home of their friend Mucus. Don't worry, the rest of their friends are inside, including Hakeem, the Capone and Slim Jim, and the last person in the pavilion, Lil Thomas. However, there's still one more person.
It's that one nigga with the afro.
If I have to refer to him, I'll refer to him as the guy with an afro because I'm not really in the safe race to say that word. And I am willing to conform with the wishes of the black audience. And also, the guy with the afro has just gotten out of jail for some reason. The reason why he and all these other people are out here is because they have a situation. It all started when he killed Santa. Then the elves came outside of his house and he was confused. But his wife, Tamika, whatever her name was, ratted him out, so we had to jump out the window and get here. So maybe he's thought about catching him off guard or something. I mean, this can't be exactly what he said. We got someone. That's exactly what he said? Shit! The ultimate plan of Big Oscar is to kill all the elves. You think that'd be easy, but there's many in that earlier shot, and possibly even more. And now it's time for the crew to get their supplies and weapons. Apparently, they found his footprints, so they followed that scent all the way out to this small little house. The guy with the afro spots some small green things, and yep, that's the exact description for elves, so get out. In the initial run out, we can only count one definitive kill, the extremely white elf who used way too much sunscreen. Soon enough, we can get one more person, the big dude elf. Apparently, the shadow elf was the only one to escape, so of course, shadow elf notifies Chippy. That sends an entire another wave of elves and oh crap. In the initial shootout between them, we can only count Hakeem and Lil Thomas, since we see them getting shot on screen. The shootout is an intense scene of action between these guys and the elves. Eventually, they get this invincible elf that can't go down with a lot of gunshots, but eventually,
he can go down with a lot of gunshots, as he is killed. Alright, the crew's gonna have to find where these guys came from and kill everyone else there. Eventually, with enough confidence, they find the Elvish retreat. After lots of deliberation, they eventually get right into killing all these guys. There are a lot of elves, but surprisingly, I only managed to count 6. Probably because all the other ones were off screen. The 6th one I'm getting here is this elf that tries to run away, but eventually gets shot by the crew. Eventually, this one sneaky little elf, that sneaky bastard, comes in, but eventually quickly gets shot by the crew. Granted, it takes a while for him to actually die, but he does. Apparently, after this mass slaughter of elves, aka only 7 that I could verify, they decide to go get some Subway. Although at Subway, they are not pleased with the cashier they have on site. So after an accusation of stealing money, they decide to pull all of their bullets on this innocent guy. Yeah, that elf better come and save the Subway from getting more people killed. Well, they don't suspect anything at first, but when the afro guy gets hit by a bullet, it all goes haywire and turns into a shootout, in which our first victim is the guy with an afro. Oh, I'm also grouping in Slim Jim with this since he died shortly afterwards. Man, this elf is tougher to hit than they expected. Like, they haven't even hit like a single bullet on him. Eventually, unseen, our fan favorite shadow elf comes in to try to shoot them. When they try to go outside and get some shots in on the elves, they see their friend Mucus just sitting there on the ground. Although there is an alternate recording existing of me saying that Mucus died even though he didn't, guess who actually does die? Our fan favorite shadow elf, who gets shot a whole bunch. Oh, hi diddly ho goddamn. They've seemed to figure out how to rid an entire species of... Oh, it's Chippy. He has a fucking rocket launcher ready on standby to kill them. Just watch this shot of Big Oscar flying. Big Oscar flies in to get a closer look at Chippy. But you know, we haven't added anyone onto this count in like 20 seconds, so here's the Capone who gets blown up. Thanks to the powers of 7-Eleven, Chippy the elf manages to land into this bar and eventually blow up and kill Lil Mucus. The final one of the friends to die is Lil Lobster, who gets blown up. Eventually, Chippy loses the ability to wield a rocket launcher. The movie ends with Big Oscar exploding Chippy with the rocket launcher. How many people die in our Reddit Christmas so far? Let's find out and get to the numbers. But first, we gotta let a little carol. 20 people died in Red Christmas, and shockingly, all of them were male, giving us the opposite of what I'd consider a Red Christmas. With a runtime of 60 minutes flat, that left us with a kill on average every 3 minutes even. Without any sort of competition at all, Amethyst Flamethrower will be going to Santa Claus. Although he's getting shot, it sets up the story. Broken Pistol can actually go to the Subway cashier. He did absolutely nothing wrong. And that's it. Red Christmas was released in 2019 and so far has 2 sequels, released in 2021 and 2022. I'll look at those next December, but until then, I'm not James A. Janice. This has been the Parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. If you haven't noticed, Roblox clips will probably most likely land up in January, as our next episode is BFDI Season 1, which comes on January 1st. And also, make sure you stay tuned for any satanic stuff in January. Thanks for watching.